This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 1.
You know what revelation means? The root word is revealed. So this is a revealing of Christ. Right? Okay, watch this.
The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must surely come to pass.
So this is going to be the revealing of who the world calls Jesus Christ. We would call him Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, which means Yahweh Shai, his name means he will deliver or he will save, and HaMashiach is the Messiah, right? So jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot,
Right.
and girt about the path with a golden girdle.
So he had on a royal garment, Cameron, that went all the way down to his feet, right? And he had a golden belt around his waist, like a world-class boxing belt, like a heavyweight championship belt, right? Watch this.
His head and his hair were white like wool.
Well, what?
Were white like wool.
Who has woolly hair? Does he have woolly hair?
Yeah, I see. You got woolly hair too.
You got woolly hair, right? We got woolly hair, right? And his hair was white, right? When we get older, what color does our hair turn? Gray. And when it's all gray, sometimes it look what color? White, right? Go ahead.
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass.
What color is brass? Like brown, right? But watch this.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So if you put anything in the fire or the furnace, you put this white piece of paper in the fire, what color is it gonna turn? It's gonna turn brown or it's gonna turn black? It's gonna turn that dark, right? So if you put a brown penny in the fire, it's gonna turn dark brown, right? Go ahead.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
Because he spoke with authority, meaning he wasn't no soft faggot white boy like this. He actually was a man of color. He actually looked just like me and you, right? What you got, that Daniel 10 and 5? Watch this.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 10 and verse 5. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz.
It's the same thing. Daniel seen the same thing that John the Revelator seen. He had on a garment that went down to his feet, and he had a golden girdle around his waist, right? So we have two different accounts with two different prophets that seen the same thing when they looked on Christ, right? Go ahead.
His body was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning.
He had a stone cold look about him, right? His face was like lightning, right? Go ahead.
And his eyes as a lamp of fire.
His eyes was like a lamp of fire again, right? Because on one account it recognizes or it symbolizes knowledge and wisdom, and on another account it symbolizes that Christ drank wine, right? You know what I'm saying? So his eyes were red, and also he's going to come back angry at the other nations for what they did to his people, right? And sometimes when you get enraged with anger, your eyes might turn red, right? Go ahead, King.
And his arms and his feet like in color.
Like in what?
Like in color.
Like in what?
Like in color.
So his arms and his feet had a color, just like it said in Revelations, right? Go ahead.
To polished brass.
Polished brass. The same thing it said over here is what it's saying over here, right? Man of color, right? That's it on that? Con. Now give me John 4 and 22. I want Acts 5 and 29, but I want John first. Watch this.
John chapter 4 and verse 22. And it reads thus.
So we just read in the Bible that this ain't him. He don't look like this. He didn't look like this. This is impossible to be Christ because we just read what his depiction looked like, right? Go ahead.
It's the book of John chapter 4 and verse 22. Ye worship ye know not what.
You what?
Ye worship ye know not what.
So a lot of our people is worshiping this and they don't know what they worshiping.
That's right.
They don't know that this is not Christ. They don't know that this was a real man throughout history. He was a homosexual man. His name was Cesare Borgia.
That's right.
The Alexander the Pope's illegitimate son. He was painted, and I think around the 1500s by his homosexual lover, right? And they plastered his image around the world as Christ. But we just read in the Bible what Christ looked like. Now watch this.
Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship.
We what?
We know what we worship.
We what?
We know what we worship.
We know what we worship because we're reading it directly off the page. You ever been to church? Have you ever heard the depiction of Christ in the church? You have? They told you he was a black man? They didn't, right? Because they're not telling our people that. They just giving them this image. This image was given to us by the slave masters as well. And we have worshiped this as our Messiah, so we look to them to save us. Right? Go ahead.
Okay, this is Jeremiah 16 and 19. Just
Bring it out.
For the brother. Watch this, brother. This is Jeremiah 16 and 19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of afflictions, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say,
What's they gonna say?
surely our fathers have inherited lives.
They have what?
Inherited lives.
This is a lie. It's just not true, bro. We just read it out the book, so there's no way that this man is Christ. Right? Go ahead. Back on John 4:22.
This is the book of John, chapter 4 and verse 22, finishing up. For salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is,
And what? Even right now. Go ahead.
when the true worshipers
Right.
shall worship the Father in spirit,
And what?
in spirit,
And?
and in truth.
So to worship the Father, you got to worship him in spirit and in truth. This is not true, right? The pastors is leading our people astray and causing them to go off the course. If we don't understand that Christ didn't look like this, we have to worship him for how he actually looked, not for what the enemy says he is, right? Now watch this before you leave. Give me that Acts 5 and 29. And it's imperative to know what Christ looked like, and this is why. Give me Matthew 1 and 21 and Luke 1 and 68.
This is Acts chapter 5, verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
No, the pastor.
Rather than men.
No, the preacher.
Rather than men.
No, the picture.
Rather than men.
Read.
The God of our fathers.
God of who?
Our
The
fathers.
God of all people.
Our fathers.
Read.
Raised up Jesus, whom ye slew and hanged on the tree.
He did what?
And hanged on the tree.
I thought he died on the cross. It said he was hung on a tree. Who else was hung on trees? Black people, right? Christ died a black man's death because he was a black man. Go ahead.
Him has God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel.
To who?
To Israel.
To who?
To Israel.
So he came to give repentance to Israel. He died for Israel, not all people, not Christians, not those that believe, but those that believe from the stock of Israel, right? And if you are a so-called black man, if your rib over here is a so-called black woman, then y'all would be Judites from the tribe of, you would be Israelites from the tribe of Judah. Christ was from the tribe of Judah, right? Solomon was from the tribe of Judah.
That's right.
David is from the tribe of Judah. These prominent men throughout history look just like us. We come from the same stock of people that they came from. We are kings and priests on the earth and princesses, right? The reason we don't know that is because of these actions that took place on our people, right? Look at that. What we just say, how Christ died. He was hung on a tree, just like our people was, right? All these atrocities that happened to our people has driven us away from our God, away from our power. So now we okay with being niggas. We okay with being thugs. We okay with being thoughts, right? We in a race chasing something that was never for us. What you got, King?
This is Songs of Solomon. This is Songs of Solomon, verse 1. The Songs of Solomon, which is Solomon.
Which is who?
Which is Solomon.
So this is Solomon. Watch what Solomon looked like. Watch this.
Verse 5. I am black, but
I am what?
I am black.
I am what?
I am black, but comely.
But what?
But comely.
That means I'm black, and comely means beautiful. So this is Solomon saying I am black but beautiful at the same time, right? The connotation that we are black, they've been using that description for a long time because we are dark-skinned people, right? Go ahead.
I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem.
Are you what?
O ye daughters of Jerusalem.
Right.
As the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon.
Now watch this. Jump to verse 10. This is another way you know it's us, right?
This is verse 10. The cheeks are comely with rows of jewelry.
It says my cheeks are comely with rows of jewels. This is grills in the Bible. That's right. It's the same people. We the same people back then that we was today. The same practices that we have back then we have today. Listen close, Cameron.
Read it again.
Watch this.
Verse 10. The cheeks are comely with rows of jewels.
So your cheeks are beautiful with rows of jewels. We've been doing it. It's not a coincidence that it's saying that and our people happen to do that. It's because we've been doing it for centuries before today. Right? Go ahead.
Thy neck with chains of gold.
Now what?
Thy neck with chains of gold.
Thy neck with chains of gold. Look at this brother out here. He ain't showing his chains today. Right. But this is something that we do because we've been doing it. We don't cleave to these things because it's something that we learned here. This is something that we've been doing before time. That's why when we get here, we still doing it. Right? Watch this. What you got?
Come on, this is the book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 30.
Watch this.
My skin is black.
Acts 13:1.
My skin is black upon me.
My what?
My skin is black upon me.
Now we know, Cameron, ain't nobody the same color as your pants. We know ain't nobody that black, right? You know what I'm saying? But they reference that color because it actually references the dark skin, right? That's all it is, right? Watch this.
And my bones are burned with heat.
And when the sun hits us, we get even darker, right? Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Judah mourneth.
It what?
Judah mourneth,
Uh-huh.
and the gates thereof languish. They are black.
They are what?
They are black.
They are what?
They are black unto the ground.
Meaning like we could be different shades of brown, right? How this brother one color, you another color, your wife another color, this brother another color, but we all are labeled as the same nation of people. You see what I'm saying? What you got, King?
That's it. All right.
Watch this, King.
You say you want to ask what?
Acts 13:1.
13.
I'm gonna show you something too. Give me Deuteronomy. Go to the curses.
This is Acts chapter 13, verse 1. Now, there were in the churches that was in Antioch certain prophets and teachers.
So at this church in Antioch, it was certain prophets and teachers, right? Watch this.
As Barnabas and Simeon that was called nigger.
They were called what?
That was called nigger.
They were called what?
They was called nigger.
What people are called niggas, Cameron? What people are called niggas?
Wait, this the Bible
Yeah,
right here?
the Bible, the same Bible that's sitting in your grandma's house, the same one that the pastor reading, and they not teaching you this. It's the same Bible. It's just that they not showing our people this. You want to see it for yourself?
Damn.
You know, nigger is a derivative. It don't mean ignorant like people tell you. It's a derivative of the word Niger, which means dark skin. It's a Latin word named called Niger, and nigger is a derivative of that word. It just means that we dark skinned. And they've been calling us niggers since back then. Maybe even before then. But you really are a king and a priest. Give me Revelations 5:5. Is that what I want? I think it's 11:5.
11:5.
11:5. And then you can go to Deuteronomy. Alright, then. And I'm gonna show you how you know that we are these people. Now we've already showed you that they was called nigger and what they look like, but there's gonna be other conditions that's gonna show you that we are these people, undoubtedly, right? Go ahead.
This is Revelations chapter 11, verse 5. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth.
That's not what I want, King.
Which one you want?
5 and
5 and
11.
11.
5 and 11. It's a lot.
My bad.
That's my bad.
Yeah, it's all good, King.
This is Revelation chapter 5, verse 11. And I behold, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne.
Start at 10.
This is verse 10. And he had made us unto our God kings and priests.
What did he make us?
Make us kings and priests.
So we actually kings and priests in this earth, but we don't know who we are. And I'm gonna show you one. I'm gonna give you a few more precepts before you leave. I know you said you gotta go. I want you to hear this because this is very vital.
Bro, I'm gonna give this Acts real quick. Acts 9 and 18. Watch this. And immediately there fell from his eyes as it had been scales, and he received sight forthwith, and arose and was baptized.
See,
And
that's what's happening to you right now. Those scales are falling off your eyes once you're seeing that the Bible is actually talking about us.
you like you saying this the Bible right
It's
here?
the Bible this is the same Bible that people have been using but not abusing, rather, because they're not using it correctly. Now give me Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Watch this.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people.
You know what the word holy means? It means to be separate. It means to be set apart. So if everybody is doing something, you're supposed to be different. If everybody is selling dope and running the streets and doing all these abominations in the world, Because you know now, Cameron, that you a holy people, you can't do that.
That's right.
The Most High has called you to be something else. He's called you to serve a purpose that's much higher than your desires.
That's right.
Right? Go ahead.
Unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. Above all people.
No, equal.
Above all people.
No, our man created equal.
Above all people.
No, the white people, they richer and they better than us.
Above all people.
We above all people, Cameron. You watch sports? What's your favorite sport? Would you watch it if it was full of white people? Would you? Why you don't watch the Chinese basketball league? Because they lame, right? But our people are more entertaining. We're the fastest. We jump the highest.
That's right.
We cook the best. We
That's
dress
right.
the best. We make the best music. Who's your favorite rapper? It don't matter. I know you listen to rap music, right?
I say Lil Baby.
Okay, Lil Baby, right? Why don't you listen to Elton John? Why don't you listen to Macklemore? Why don't you listen to what's his name? Jack Harlow. Why you don't listen to him? Because they white, bro, and their music is trash. Call it what it is. You don't really want to hear that. You gonna listen to people that one look like you, one struggles you can understand, and that make the best music in your opinion, right? We cook the best, we dress the best, right? Everything we do, they hate us for it, but then they come behind us and do the same thing, right? What you got, King? But I want you to, on side of the earth, watch this.
This is why you watching, brother. This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 13. Ye are the salt of the earth.
We are what?
The salt of the earth.
We bring flavor to the firmament.
That's right.
We the ones that do everything and then they come and imitate it. We the ones that they looking to create something and then they go take the credit for the creation.
That's right.
It's us, bro. We made all the inventions. They just got the patents to it.
That's right.
We the ones that's the best chosen of the earth, right? Go ahead.
But if the salt have lost its savor,
If they have what?
lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted?
What's the reason of having a flavor if you don't know that you got it? If you don't know that all these things come from you. Better yet, you know the Olympics, right? All this, everybody's an American. Everybody that's here is so-called American, right? Why they only choose us to go represent them in America? Why the whole USA basketball team full of NBA players? Why everybody that's running for America is a black man or a black woman? The only thing they dealing with right now is Michael Phelps, because you know we don't really deal with the water like that, you know what I'm saying? But if we wanted to, we'll get in there and swim better than him,
That's right.
right? Like, give me that Deuteronomy 29 and 16.
Who's the book of
How
Deuteronomy?
did our people get here? How did we get here as a nation?
He was already here.
Some of us was already here. We agree with that, right? But how did the rest of our people get over to America? By what? Watch this.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
Now the word Egypt is synonymous with the word bondage. When you see the word Egypt, you might think of the landmass. But back in that time, it wasn't called Egypt, it was called Montezari, right? So that word Egypt has a definition in the Bible, right? And we're going to show you what that word actually means.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Most High, thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of bondage. So Egypt is synonymous with bondage, captivity, or slavery. Now I'm going to read that verse again, and instead of saying Egypt, I'm going to say slavery, or captivity, or bondage. Or he going to say, watch this.
And the Most High shall bring thee into bondage again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
What other people went into bondage or slavery on ships? That only happened to us, right? So, prophetically speaking, this would have to be talking about us. Read.
With ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
And we haven't seen our homeland since we got here. We here rocking J's and Levi's and hoodies and Nike and Crocs. None of us which we own. We shopping at Kroger. Do we own Kroger? Is your last name Kroger? You know these different companies that they are last names. Walton, I think it's called the Waltz or the Waltons. Walmart is owned by the Waltons, right? You know what I'm saying? Those are companies, but they descend from families, right? Or they've been created by families, right? Go ahead.
Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Unto who?
Unto your enemies.
Unto who?
Unto your enemies.
Who were we sold to? What people sold, or who were we sold to? White people. So what did the Bible just call them? our enemies, right? Go ahead.
For bondmen,
For what?
bondmen,
Slave men
and bondwomen,
and slave women.
and no man shall buy you.
And nobody's gonna redeem you out of this captivity. Give me 28 and 54. The same slavery we was in is the same one we in today. It's just mental now, and it's spiritual. It's no longer chattel and physical slavery. Now we think we free, but we gotta pay taxes. If you want to drive, you gotta get a driver's license. If you want to be born, you gotta get a birth certificate. And when you die, you gotta get a death certificate. Everything you do go back to these same people that got you in captivity. You can't get away from it, right? The only way to get away from it is to keep the commandments, and then you will begin to live and not just survive, right? What you got?
Deuteronomy 28 and 54. So that the man that is tender among you,
This is another curse that's on our people. That bondage going into slavery, that was a curse. This is another curse that's on our people. Watch this.
so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
That's black on black crime right here in the Bible. His eyes evil toward his brother. Is the white man out here gang banging against each other? Is the Chinese man out here gang banging against each other? Do you see Africans out here banging on each other? You don't, right? If they do, if they are doing that, they're trying to act like us, because they've made us assimilate a culture that's not even our culture, right? Go ahead.
And
Jeremiah 17:4.
and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
Now bring that back from the wife of the bosom. Read that.
Right? I'm gonna start from the top. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother,
That's black on black crime.
and toward the wife of his bosom,
That's baby mama, baby daddy drama.
and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
And toward his children, which he gonna lead. That's child support right there in the Bible.
That's right.
Is that happening to all nations? Is that happening to all people? Or is that a stigmatism that's just on our people? It's just on us, right? So again, this would have to be talking about us. Give me 37 real quick, because you said when we asked you what your nationality was, you said you was black, right? Can you if you went and you was gonna catch a bus somewhere or you gonna catch a plane, what landmass would you catch it to catch black? Where would you go to black? Okay, so what country is the country black in Africa? It ain't no country black. But you said black. I didn't say Nigerian, I didn't say Kenyan, I didn't say Libyan, you said black. What does the country flag of black look like? Is it just black? It's all black. But where is our homeland? How do we get back to our land? You see what I'm saying? Because a Nigerian can come from America and go back to Nigeria, right? A Kenyan or Moroccan can go back to Morocco. How do I get back to black? I need you to tell me how I come from Texas and go to black, because you said you black and you said we black. How I get there? Let me give you a clue. It ain't no black.
That's right.
It ain't no land black. It ain't no language black. It ain't no country. They just call us that. Just like they call us what? African American. Can you be from Africa and America? You can't be from two places at one time, can you? Do they say that they European white or European American? Does the Chinese person in America say he Chinese American? They don't, right? They say what? I'm Chinese, or I'm Vietnamese, or I'm Laos. They don't say that I'm Laos American. What you got, Ken?
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 37.
Watch this.
And thou shalt become an astonishment.
Look at these niggas, man. All they want to do is run and jump and rap. All they want to do is roll up and smoke weed, cop a QP and sell something. That's all they want to do, right? It's crazy that they are so proud and they don't have nothing. Read.
A proverb.
A proverb is you want to hide anything from a black man, you can put it in a... How old are you, King? She probably never heard of that. But a stigmatism that's on our people is if you want to hide anything from a black man, you can put it in a book because you don't read. That's what they say about us. That's a proverb that's about our people.
And a byword.
And a byword. A byword is calling you anything but a king of priests. Calling you anything but an Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
Calling you anything but a God in this earth, which the scriptures call you in Psalms 82 and 6. But instead, I'm going to call you black, African American. I'm going to call you, I'm going to call you a thug. I'm going to call you a hood nigga. I'm going to call her a thot. I'm going to call her a whore. I'm gonna call her a bad bitch. I'm I'm gonna call her everything but what she actually is. And if we call you these things long enough, you're gonna start calling yourself that. Not only are you gonna start calling yourself that, you're gonna start answering to it. So now you are not synonymous with king or priest. You're synonymous with black. When you can look at your skin, bro, you the furthest thing from black. So why would you call yourself that? You're not black, king. You a Hebrew Israelite.
That's
tribe of
right.
Judah. And she will be the same thing. What you got?
Brother, the Lord
I know you
shall
don't want to
lead
hear it
thee.
right now, sis, but it's true.
Do you believe that though, sister?
You don't believe that? So what you think your nationality is? What is it? American Indian, Native American? Then you would be from the tribe of Gad.
That's right.
We the same people. We the exact same people.
And you know when you said earlier that some of us was already here?
You said that, right? Some of us was already here.
Well, give her that one. Let this is for you, sister. We gave it to Cameron, right?
You the head, king. So you hear this, right? But she said she was Native American, right? We telling you that the so-called Native Americans, Latinos, and so-called black people are the chosen tribe of the Most High.
That's right.
They are the Israelites. Whether they want to be, whether they hear or forbear, understand and believe it or not, that's who we are. Watch this.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13,
and 40.
verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes.
The what?
The 10 tribes.
Y'all said some of us was already over here. 10 tribes came over here before slavery, right? Go ahead.
Which was carried away prisoner out of their lands in the time of Osei the king,
Right?
whom Salmanazar, the king of Assyria, led away captive,
Right.
and carried them over the water, and so came they into another land.
Into what?
Into another land.
Into another land. Read.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country.
Into a what?
Into a further country.
So they left where everybody else was on the eastern hemisphere, so-called Africa, and they journeyed over here to the western hemisphere, to the Americas, and dwelled in South America, Central America, and North America, right? The so-called Seminole Indian Native Americans, right? All these people, these are our people. That's why she say she's Native American, you say you black, but we all look the same. Because we the same people, just different tribes. So-called Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans. It's when you see Carmelo, he look like a black man, right? He's Dominican. When you see Jim Jones, he look like a black man, right? They Dominican.
Sauce Walker.
Sauce Walker. You know who Sauce Walker is? He's from Honduras. But he look like a black man. Because we all the same people. We just from different tribes. Watch
That's the
this.
book of James, chapter 1, verse 2. So like in verse 1, James, a servant of the Most High God, the Lord of Christ, to the 12 tribes.
To who?
To the 12 tribes.
No, to just one tribe.
To the 12 tribes.
12 tribes. Jacob or Israel had 12 sons. We are the descendants of those 12 sons.
Which are scattered abroad.
And those 12 tribes have been scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Finish this out.
Further country where never mankind dwelt.
Nobody dwelt in America before the other 10 tribes got over here. The natives are not native to this land because our men are native to Africa. That's where civilization and mankind started. But they journeyed over here to keep the commandments of God and get away from the heathens, right? Go ahead.
That they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river.
Right.
For the Most High then showed sign for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For though that country there was a great way to go, namely a year and a half.
How long?
A year and a half.
It took them a year and a half by boat to get from that side of Africa all the way to America. That's how we know that they journeyed over here, because it took them a year and a half to get here. Right? Go ahead.
And the same region was called Osiris.
It was called what?
Osiris.
And when you go into history, they'll tell you literally that Osiris is America.
That's right. That's right.
So we the same people. Somebody give me the go ahead, what you got?
So what we say